Zidane Daney, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Nerd Chat here on Electro Ninja's Lab. I am here with my fellow host,
I'm
and
Jack.
today we thought we would talk about Tales of the Shire, which is going to be coming out later this year, and I'm excited for it. I know you're excited for it. Several people are excited for it.
I am
Oh
super
my gosh.
excited,
So,
yes.
for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, so Tales of the Shire is going to be a life sim game, kind of like freaking Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, others like it, um, and it's gonna be in the Shire, aka Lord of the Rings, which is kind of insane to think about. Yeah.
I'm pretty
I
excited.
think it was funny because like I think we mentioned it to Joker when we first found out about it, and he was just kind of like, I'm good. I don't need to worry about it. And then he realized what it was, and he was like, oh, I could be wrong about that. I think he was but yeah, I think that it was. Honestly, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. I think, granted, I think that part of the reason why it didn't happen sooner is because there's the life sim movement currently going on that's been going on for a little while, um, which tons of people are loving life sims, mostly because of COVID and how it was able to help people a lot, especially like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing,
Animal
especially. Yeah.
Crossing, big, big, big.
So I mean, honestly, I'm just excited to say the least. From what I understand, it is a brand new town somewhere in the Shire. It is not it is not the main town that he's in. That it's not
It's not
Hobbiton.
Hobbiton.
Um, I don't remember exactly what town it is. Um, let's see here. Yeah. So it's so on the Steam thing. Let's see here. Uh, does it say the town? They mentioned the town in the. Oh, here we go. Bywater is the town. I think that might have been mentioned in the books. I'm not 100% certain. But no,
Doesn't sound
I'm not
familiar.
100% certain either. But basically, it looks like a standard Shire town, which fair. Most of the Shire towns look
Yeah.
very similar, and you'll get to like design your own hobbit hole. You'll be able to do some farming, some gardening, and fishing, cooking. Obviously, um, I think you'll be able to take care of some animals. I'm not 100% certain on exact details with that. Um, I've seen more about the gardening and the farming or the housework and stuff like that, as well as fishing. But fishing is like in everything, so it's not that
Yeah.
surprising. Um,
Yeah.
and cooking, it had to be in there because hobbits.
Yeah, they have like 12,000 meals.
Yeah.
Oh, well, 12 meals
So
a day.
yeah, obviously you're gonna need to be cooking. I'm kind of wondering exactly how they're gonna
Mm.
handle it though, because like seasons and stuff like that. Because personally, what I would do if this were completely up to me is have it be the timeline be uh, basically going like how Animal Crossing goes, where it's just over time. You literally go through the seasons as they're happening in real time. Um, which I'm not certain. I don't think that's gonna be what they're gonna do because of
No, I want to see more like Stardew, where there's 28 days
or
per
yeah, something like
season, and it
that.
goes,
Shorter days.
yeah, so that,
Yeah,
yeah. That real time day night cycle and season cycle is bullshit. I hate that
fair.
so much.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% certain. Honestly, when this game comes out, I feel like I'm just gonna sit down and just chill doing that every just now and again, and I think that that's gonna be really helpful. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to like put in like a romancing feature, because I don't think they like showed anything about that. Like it says, like you do forge friendships, but I'm not certain if they like you will be able to like romance characters and stuff like that. Um, since it is, I think it's rated E10, so that might be it might be less likely, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I'd be I think that would be kind of cool, especially if you like build up your home over time, um, and you have like you just build up your family. I think that would be cool. Um, I don't know. I also it looks way more open than like any other life sim that I've seen. Like you have your home, but it looks like you can like walk across fields and stuff like that, and basically just explore the Shire. Looks like it's specifically the town. It might just be the one town, which fine. That's 100% fine. But at the same time, I'm kind of wondering if they'll like put in other towns across the Shire, like Hobbiton, and like maybe you just like go and visit Hobbiton. And also, I'm wondering like if it's I don't know. Apparently, Gandalf is gonna show up, so I'm not certain I'm like not like too much. I don't think, but he's like he is a character that's gonna be in this. So the exact timing of it is kind of hard to say, um, because it would be uh, uh, my guess is that it would have to be before the main story of Lord of the Rings. Quite possibly before Bilbo was born, but at the same time, I'm not 100% certain because, like, I don't know. It's really hard to say, and obviously the Shire has kind of stayed the same for years and years, so I'm not. So it's not like there would be much changes. Um, but I have heard for sure that there is gonna that Gandalf is gonna be in this, so it can't be after. It can't be post Lord of the Rings, but also it can't be post Lord of the Rings anyways because at least in the books, the Shire was destroyed and and it took them quite a while to recover. So
Yeah.
um like it took them I don't think it took them hundreds of years, but it definitely took them a few years. I don't remember the exact number of years. Um, and if it's so far into the future that then Gandalf wouldn't be showing up. So my guess is at the latest it would be sometime around when the actual when the books are taking place and stuff like that. Um, at the and then
Yeah.
maybe sometime before Bilbo was born would be the earliest that I could see, because I don't know. It's really hard to say with that because I feel like it wouldn't necessarily be something where you. I don't think that Gandalf was really visiting the Shire all that much. Well, like he was involved, but he wasn't like super involved with the Shire. Like he deeply cared for the Shire, as we like. But at the same time, they didn't. Bilbo had no idea about Gandalf at all before the Hobbit. So
Yeah,
So I
that's
would
true.
think that it would have to be after, um, or at least maybe Gandalf didn't come to Hobbiton until the time that he came to visit Bilbo. Um,
Hmm.
but I don't know. It's hard. Like I said, it's hard to say. Um, and there's really not that much information. It's literally just like, yeah, just having fun. So a few things, like obviously when you're designing your home, you can design it however you want. There's no grid, which great. I love that. I love it when there's no grid on in these home designer games. So there's that. Um, food is love, which basically means that you're going to be cooking a lot, and you can explore the town. Um, and beyond that, there's just not that much information. So I don't know. And the other part issue with it is that you can't really see. There isn't a date yet, I don't think, for when it's coming out. So it is a bummer.
Which is a
We do
bummer.
know that it's coming this year, so my guess is that it will probably be during the holiday. Yeah.
We're close to, yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not 100% certain if I really if the holiday season is really the best time for it, because tons of games are coming out will be come out around the holiday. So I'm just worried that it's going to get buried because of that.
Move. Go away.
Cat or dog being stupid?
Oh, the dog is like, I have to be touching you or I'll die. And I'm like, I assure you, you will not.
Oh my gosh. Also, so yeah. Also, I have to say, I'm kind of intrigued that this took quite a while for them to actually come out with this. Because I would imagine like I said before, I think that this would have made so much sense to have come out long ago, because like the Shire is like one of the most peaceful places ever, and I was kind of expecting it to be like when Life Sims were really starting to kick off, I was kind of expecting there to be a Shire game quickly. But at the same time, I kind of think that if that is the case, then maybe as this game started its development, probably around the time that Cozy Games were really starting to kick off, and they've been working really hard, and they didn't feel comfortable enough to even announce it until really recently. Because
yeah,
well, I hope that that's the reason as well. I'm not certain if it's gonna be how much they're gonna do.
No.
But like the other thing that's kind of weird about it though is that there are so many Lord of the Rings games, and all of them are action based. Like there's a Hobbit game, there's Lord of the Rings games, there's there's a Moria game. There's I'm pretty sure there's probably 2 MMOs for Lord of the Rings. Which that's fun to think about. And yeah, like obviously, and you never really get to see the Shire, even though it's like one of the most important places in the original book. So, like, part of me thinks that that likely the reason was because they just didn't feel like that's what people wanted from a game for a while, but I'm not sure. But yeah. Another thing that's really nice about this game though is that it is going to be a it's going to be on every single console. So obviously it's going to be on the PlayStation, it's going to be on the Xbox, it's going to be on the Switch. And then it's also going to be through Steam and Netflix games, which that is such a weird statement to make.
It's so
just like, what the fuck?
I don't like it.
Yeah,
It makes me uncomfortable. Netflix is over here trying to just corner the market on everything, and I'm like, no.
Yeah,
pick a
like
lane and
Netflix,
stay
you've
in
been
it.
kind of
No, stop.
faltering lately, and it's just weird to me. But like I don't even think about like they don't like they want to get into the gaming market, but they don't even talk like there's hardly anything to note about those. Like I don't even
Yeah.
like if I go to the
The Trivia Crack one is kind of fun, I guess.
like if you go to the website though, it's like it's still just the shows. I don't know what like they don't it's not like they're specifically promoting the video games or whatever. So Let's see
Yeah.
here. Yeah, I don't even know how to find the games like from the website, so I don't know. Or from the main site, I don't know. But so I think they just need to like either they need to stop or they just but for sure they shouldn't. I don't think that if Netflix wanted to get into the releasing games, I think they should have just created um a new site, not Netflix games, because I that because when I
Yeah.
think Netflix, like granted, Flix is a
Ow!
like obviously
Fucker!
for us we know that Flix mean movies, but I
No,
don't
you're
know.
done.
I don't know. But I'm kind of wondering as well if it's gonna be something that you're gonna be able to play cross-platform. Do you think that's gonna be a possibility? Because I'm not.
Hmm.
I don't even know if it
I don't
has
know.
the ability to play with friends. Actually, like there's no information about that.
Yeah,
Huh?
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Hard to say on that
Like I
one.
would love to be able to be like, oh hey yeah, would you like to come hang out at my town or whatever? But I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know exactly what they want to do with that. But uh, but yeah. To be fair, they really aren't giving us too much information. Pretty much all of the information was in the trailer for the uh, um, and that's it. Like I said, obviously Gandalf is gonna be in there. Um, which I have to say I love the design for Gandalf. If you go onto their website, you can actually see what he looks like. And it's so cartoony. I love it.
It's pretty great.
Oh yeah. I don't know. But also there's a lot of games coming out this year that freaking the new Zelda game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
What is this freaking thing called? Echoes of Wisdom. That's what it's called. There we go. That's what I wanted to look at. Um so did you watch the trailer, correct? So how do you feel
Yeah.
about being able to play as Zelda for the first time?
I think it's
Fair.
been long overdue.
Honestly, I was kind of hoping that there was going to be a Zelda game in the where you play as Zelda in the Breath of the Wild universe or the Breath of the Wild style, because somewhere around
Yeah.
there, where maybe like a game where where Zelda and Link team up and they literally work on I think I said this that I would want a cozy game for Zelda and Link where you're literally going around the kingdom trying to rebuild it after both of the incidents that occurred. That would have been so cool to me. And then they just never did it.
Yes.
And they're done with the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom era. But
Yeah,
I
that
don't
makes
know.
sense.
But I do think that even if you don't necessarily like the art style for this game, which I'm not certain how many people don't like it, but if you're kind of even if you're uncertain, if you want to see future Zelda games where you are actually playing as Zelda, you need to at least purchase this game, um, because that's gonna be a really big notifier to these people to them that hey, people really want to play as Zelda. Um maybe they'll actually like do more stuff with that. Maybe it will because it feels to me like this is testing the waters. Because it's very similar to
Yeah.
Link's Awakening remake. Which that also was a very good game. I think it's supposed to be a sequel to that. Actually,
Yeah. I, I think it is. Yeah, I was gonna say it's the same animation style. I would imagine it's in the same like
Yeah.
universe, so to
Like
speak.
I think it's like maybe like just if it might be right after. I'm not 100% certain. I have to look at it because I haven't played Link's the new Link the remake for Link's Awakening. So I need to play that at some point. Um yeah.
It's on my list for sure.
But I think for sure I want to make sure you want to make sure that you get if you are gonna be if you are interested in it in seeing more Zelda, more playable Zelda. Absolutely, you need to purchase this game as pretty quickly, um, because that's gonna be extremely
Yeah.
important. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be that's also releasing in September. Damn. Like obviously we have Epic Mickey coming in September, so we've got this and Epic Mickey. That just so that's well,
Yeah.
Epic Mickey is just a remake, so it's not like it's as important as this. But I would say that Epic Mickey is also going to be really important. I don't know. I'm actually really excited for Epic Mickey. That's also going to be a lot of fun. But also I love that it's more of a puzzle game than it is a combat game like the rest like a lot of the other Zelda games. Like obviously Zelda has always had puzzles, but this one feels like it's much more meant to be a puzzle game than combat based because there's very little that you're actually doing in combat. Like you're obviously going to get enemies and stuff, but maybe I could absolutely be wrong there because there is a pretty good chance that I'm wrong about that. But to me, the style and the look of what we've seen, at least, it feels much more like a puzzle game than it is a combat. No matter what you do. So I don't know. I'm needless to say, I'm very excited to see exactly how this game is gonna play. Especially since it's a completely new style. Like doing the echoes and stuff is gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to play it.
Also, I love the all of the different ways that you're gonna be able to get around. Like they show they show Zelda making a staircase using beds to get into Gerudo Town. Which what? That is amazing to me. That it absolutely is.
Yes.
I am so excited to be able to do that. That is gonna be so much fun. But also with that, yeah. Speaking of September, though, it's like there is so much happening in September. Oh my gosh! So obviously we've got Epic Mickey coming, we've got Zelda coming, we've got one of our books. What book is it? Percy Jackson 7. That's coming. So so all three of those are coming in September. I don't remember when the Funko Pop game is coming out. Which, I mean, mostly we're kind of interested in that because of the fact that it's just so stupid. There we go. That is also releasing in September. What the fuck? Apparently.
A good month, I guess.
Oh my gosh. It's just Funko so Funko Fusion, that's what it's called. Which honestly, I'm not certain how I feel about that game. Like it looks to me like
yeah, it looks like it could either be really good or truly awful.
Yeah.
And there's no in between.
That's kind of upsetting because it looks so much like those the toy games of a few years ago. Wow, it's actually been it's been quite a while since those were popular. Like obviously I think so it doesn't it looks like it does not require you to actually buy Funko Pops. Thank God. But it's just so stupid. But also it's they said I think in the information, I think that they specifically said that it's like a certain number of Funko characters that you're going to be able to play with. I think it's like a few hundred or something. So clearly they're not going to have every single Funko Pop character that exists.
Yeah, that's true.
I imagine that it's mostly going to be the really popular ones. Like like just from what we're seeing in the picture, like in the main picture, I can see Invincible, stuff for Jurassic Park, Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know 90% of this stuff. I think that there might be some superheroes in there. Knight Rider. Why is Knight Rider there? Voltron I can actually makes a lot more sense to me than fucking Knight Rider. He-Man is there. Yeah, there's a good number of characters in there. Chucky. I think it's gonna be funny though because there are miraculous Funko Pops, and I can guarantee that they are not gonna be in there. Like 100%, like Hawkmoth, Ladybug, and Cat Noir are 100% not gonna be in this, which to me that's sad. But at the same time, I understand exactly why they're not doing that. I don't know. But another thing that's kind of interesting to me about it is that most of the characters that I'm seeing are not characters that are family friendly. For lack of a better term. Some of them are family friendly, but like they're specifically like things that we grew up on, things that adults only adults have grown up on, or things that have been in recent years that have been mostly meant for adults, not necessarily for kids. Like Five Nights at Freddy's is probably the thing that is the most like kids have played this. That is the most that I can see here, that a lot of kids would have played that. A lot of kids obviously know about like superheroes like Marvel and DC. But kids should not be watching Invincible. Kids should not be watching Jaws. Personally, I would say that they shouldn't be watching that Voltron is kind of a weird situation for kids, but that's more for the original Voltron, because it's just like you need to be able to realize how much they censored that to just laugh at it. Oh my gosh, they censored that so freaking much. And then yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for that, but at the same time, I'm kind of nervous. Also, I think there's Xena in the background, which what? I would not have expected Xena. I didn't even know Funko did a Xena character, to be honest. Did you know about that?
Interesting. I didn't, but then I don't really pay attention to Funko Pops, really. I have,
Fair.
3.
I think I have more than you, which is just like... yeah. Like...
I have Chekhov from Star Trek. I have Indiana Jones running away from the boulder. And then I have Torok Makto from James Cameron's Avatar 2, The Way of Water.
So I have several Kingdom Hearts ones, Deku, and Todoroki from My Hero Academia, Ladybug. I want to get Cat Noir and Hawkmoth, but those are kind of hard to get now. And then I also have like a Bantha. I have the Mandalorian and Grogu on a Bantha, which that one's very fun.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that's the most expensive one that I have of all of my Funko Pops.
Oh, I guess I have like the Funko Micros or whatever they are.
Yeah, whatever those are. Yeah.
I have a couple of those, but they're just like your basic Disney characters. Just your, I think I have like Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Donald, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of want to just get this game just to laugh at it. But I don't think that
I just need Disney to stop putting out stupid things and put out Disney Universe on the Switch.
Fair.
That's all I want.
Oh, wait, is Funko Fusion not going to be on the Switch? I thought that was going to be on the Switch.
No,
No, let me go on Amazon because that's probably the better option to look at. Amazon Funko Fusion. No, wait. What? No, it's on the Switch. Okay. I don't know why. So for whatever reason, on their website, they only like show Steam and PlayStation 5. I don't know why, but it's on everything. It's on PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox, and then obviously Steam. Oh,
Did you know that the Delaware River?
that's why. So on the PlayStation, and I'm assuming Steam. Oh, so literally everything but the Switch is coming out in September. Then the Switch, it comes out in November. Rude. That is so fucking rude. Like, to be fair, I think that part of the reason why it might be because of the fact that PlayStation and Xbox and even Steam can probably handle it a bit better. But at the same time, that means that we can focus our time more on Epic Mickey and Zelda before having to worry about Funko Fusion, and then we could just laugh at that over the next while. Honestly, I am like there is a good chance that for the Nerd Chat Awards, Funko Fusion either wins either it could win Dumpster Fire, and I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah,
like I'm kind of okay
can
with
see
playing
that.
the game
That's
if
fine.
if we give it a Dumpster Fire. But otherwise it would probably be in it would probably be in the new category.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
because it's
So
new.
oh yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, I don't know. It's there's a lot of games coming, and I'm really excited for a lot of them. Also, apparently they're doing they're doing a Sonic and Shadow game, which I kind of forgot about, but that's like in October. But it's
Interesting.
basically like it's kind of like Sonic Generations, but it has Shadow in it as well.
Victim's name is Shannon Lather.
So yeah. What else? There's some. I feel like there was something else that was pretty major that we kind of all were excited about, but I can't remember what it was.
I think it was.
Oh, we
The
talked
Hobbit.
about The Hobbit. I feel like there was something else.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
What else do we know about it?
Yeah, nothing immediately pops out to me. I'm like looking through my stuff. Obviously, I don't know. Obviously, Miraculous is coming back. That's another thing. Later this year, we're getting Miraculous back, which obviously you need to get caught up on.
And the more you tell
Fair
me
enough.
to do so,
But yeah, we'll see how that what else we do with that. But yeah, I wish there was more stuff to talk about. I don't know. Oh yeah,
I'm
you
playing
are playing
Pokemon
Pokemon
Shield
Shield
again.
again. How is you said some things about that the other day. Why don't you tell the fans about that?
well, it's super annoying in some ways. For instance, like, you can fight Pokemon that are higher level than you, but you can't catch them, which I get to an extent. But at the same time, like, I was level, like, 26, and the Pokemon I was fighting was level 28, and because I didn't have the third gym badge, it was not letting me even like catch it, even though that is a totally feasible Pokemon to
Yeah.
catch with a level 26. So it's kind of annoying in that way. But at the same time, like,
Yeah.
it has some of my favorite Pokemon in it. It has Togepi, which is my favorite. It has Sock, it has Throw, it has Octillery, it has Delmise, it has Clobbopus. I'm
Fair
okay
enough.
with that, so I'll take it. The only thing I'm missing is, of course, my babies, Panpour, Pansage, and Panseer. But that's okay.
Yeah.
They were pretty much only in the generation that they started out in and haven't been seen since. Which is truly sad,
that is
honestly.
true. Yeah.
They deserve better.
Honestly, like the monkeys. I do have to say, I may not have been a big fan of Gen 5, for various reasons. Yeah, that's Unova.
That's Unova, right?
And
Yeah.
I know there were a lot of people who didn't like Gen 5. But I do have to say,
Whereas I have a special place in my heart for it because it was
Yeah.
the first game I ever finished.
I think that the reason that it's but one thing I will say, a few things that I do actually really like about it is that, one, there were the seasons. I loved the seasons. I know that might be a controversial opinion for some people, but yeah.
No, the seasons were good.
But I like the seasons. They've never brought them back for whatever reason. Then there.
I know, that's so annoying.
So
to me.
obviously, they've never brought back the seasons. They've never brought back the whatchamajiggle. They had they had the extra Pokemon that would be your like the Pansage, Panpour, yeah, all the monkeys. So they had the monkeys, which were basically able to counteract your weakness really early on. Which, and
Yes.
it was you were always going to have that the one that I think you were weak to. I'm forgetting. Was it the one
You had access to
you had
all of them.
access to all of them, but I think you got one for free, one as a gift.
Oh yeah, no, you got the one. Yeah, it was the one. The starter you would have been weak to was the version of the monkey you would have gotten for free.
So and I think that was a really good decision. I think that I will say I do prefer the method that they did in X and Y, where you had your where you did have your Pokemon, and you were you had your main starter, and you were able to get a second starter, and you could choose which one you wanted to do, and it would be able to like balance out really easily. So fantastic, love that. I kind of wish that they would do that more often, but they haven't for reasons I can't imagine why. I think it was just for like 2 generations where they did that though, where you got technically a second starter. Where for Black and White it was obviously the monkeys, and then for X and Y it was your second. It was the second starter, the Kalos starter, or not the Kalos starter, the Kanto starter. Which
yeah,
I think that's a really smart. That's smart. I like that. I do think that in a lot of games you were able to get other starters, but at the same time, most of the time when you were able to get another starter, it was much later down the line, and you really wouldn't necessarily need to worry about it at that point. I think in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, you would be able to get first you were able to get the Johto starter.
I think they did that though with the giving you the quote secondary starter, whether it's the actual starter or the monkeys. I think the reason they did that is because they had a lot of people picking fire because the first gym is almost always grass, And if you pick a water starter, you're genuinely fucked. Because the grass, of course,
Yeah.
is strong to water. So by giving us that secondary starter, they avoid every single person ever picking the fire starter. And then, that way it's, okay, if you pick the grass,
Yeah.
well, here's a fire. If you pick the water, here's a grass,
Well,
that
I mean,
kind of thing.
I don't think that. I think every generation has been different, actually, for the first gem. Because it was like, obviously, Kanto, it was rock. Johto, it was flying, which that doesn't matter for that one. Then in Gen, so Kanto, even though everyone picked Charmander, worst possible option for that, by the way. So everyone picked him, and then you got your ass kicked by Brock. Then
Right, yeah.
Johto was the flying type, which honestly didn't really matter. Almost everyone could handle that one. What was Gen 3? Gen 3, was that rock as well?
No, I'm pretty sure it was grass.
Hoenn.
Why set a time? If you're not gonna
There
stick
we
to
go.
it, no one hates that.
Gyms. Let's see here.
Consider it.
Little Root, Odell. Petalburg. Was that the first one that you went to?
Sorry.
Was that the first gym that you did? I think that might have been. So, well, yeah. What is?
I have a lot going on.
Where's the frickin' gyms? I don't understand. I don't know why it doesn't tell me the gyms. Oh, here we go. Gyms. No, it was Rock. It was Roxanne again. Was their first gem in Gen 3.
Oh,
So
yeah.
and then, so again, Torchic was a really bad option, even though everybody loves Torchic. Granted, fair.
I picked Mudkip.
I think a lot of people chose Torchic because of the fact that May was the main protagonist at the time, and she had Torchic. So, and then Ash chose got Trico. And it was Brock who got frickin' Mudkip, so it was just like that was a weird generation, honestly, for the anime. Yeah.
That's
Because
true.
I think that was the only one where Ash only had one of the starters. So yeah. Let's see here. So Gen 4. What was in Gen 4? That was Sinnoh. So Sinnoh was again Rock. What the fuck? Rock is the most common, actually. Gen 5 is actually Gen 5 is the weird one because it's technically whatever it was the monkeys was the first gem, I believe, or was it the normal guy?
I don't remember.
Unova goes all the way down to the bottom with the gym. Unova, yeah. So in Black and White, your first gym would be would be going up against the Silent Chili or Cress, and I think that it was the one that you were weak against, actually, that you had to fight, which was another reason why you got the monkey so early. In Black and White
Right.
2, it was normal, and they got rid of the Silent Chili and Crest one, which is kind of weird, but I get it. That was another thing that was kind of funny about that because so there's the trio badge, so they actually changed the badges in Gen 2 between in Black and White versus Black and White 2. So
Sure.
obviously, so for one, you got the wave badge at the end, and then you also, so in Black and White 2, you had the toxic badge and the wave badge were basically replacing other badges, which was basically replacing the trio badge and the freeze badge, which were basically the triplets and Bryson, which was the ice gem. were those in the original one. That is kind of weird, honestly. Oh yeah. I do think that it's Gen 5 is such a weird oddball. Let's just be honest here. And then obviously next was Kalos. Kalos was the bug gym actually. So that technically you could handle it with any of them, but the your fire starter was probably your best bet, especially since you wouldn't get your secondary your second starter until after you did the bug gym. And then Alola is just complicated. Honestly, it didn't matter what you chose at that point. I think it was normal or dark depending on which game you played. Yeah, I think that was what it was for your first trial for Alola. And then and then we have Grass for Sword and Shield. And then what do we have for Scarlet and Violet? Well, Paldea is weird, anyways. Grass or so it was either grass or bug, is what you would get, depending on which direction you went. Technically, I think bug is technically supposed to be the first one that you do, and then grass. But when it comes to Paldea, it's such a weird trip, anyways, that you could technically do whatever battle you wanted, whenever. And things were not necessarily in the best order anyways. I don't know. I love Paldea, but at the same time, there are so many things that they could have done better with it. I think what I would have done if I had been in control of Paldea, and I think a lot of people will agree with this, is do what they say they do in the show. In the show, they specifically say that the gym leader chooses their Pokemon based off of how many badges the player has. So like Brock, because of the fact that Red did not have any of the badges, he specifically said that he would pick 2 Pokemon. This was in Origins, I believe. So he specifically said that he would pick he would take he would choose 2 Pokemon since it was Red's first gym, and it would be and basically from that point, everyone would basically choose would do stuff to make sure that it would be a fair fight. But in this game, it's not really like that. I don't know. I think I do have to say I do like that you can still take on any gym that you want in any order. Same thing goes for any of the you can I think you can take on any of the Titans technically in any order except for the fact that you have to for the lake you have to have completed the flying badge before you can take on the dragon badge. That's the only difference. That's the only thing that you have to make sure that you do. And then for Team Star, you can take on. I think you can take on any Team Star in any order. I think it's really hard to get to the fighting badge until after you've gotten climbing, or at least gliding, one of the two. But as a whole, you could do any. You can do any trial. You can do, or you can do any gym. You can do any Titan, and you can do any Team Star in any order. But obviously, there is. It is not
leveled.
And I think that is one thing that I would like them to actually do in a future game. I think that. I will say that I think that there should that I do like the idea that they had where yes, there is like a certain area that you should that you kind of are expected to start out in, and as such, that further back, closer to where you start is lower level Pokemon, and then as you go further in, is higher level Pokemon. I think that was a smarter decision than what they did for Sword and Shield, where in the wilds, basically everything leveled with you. that was weird to me. Do you remember? Did you ever deal with that or no? In Sword and Shield, how everything kind of levels with you. Which, I mean, it's not every single location. There are places in the wild that are always going to be that you have that are going to start at a higher level. I think it's like once you if you pass the bridge, that stuff up there is always going to be high. That stuff is always meant to be higher level than the stuff that is in the the first gym zone, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, all 3 of the wilds level up with you. And once you've completed the league, everything is over like 40. And it's so freaking annoying because you can't. It's such a pain in the ass to grind your Pokemon from lower levels. Any Pokemon that you just didn't you didn't get around to, you have to do all sorts of things in order to make sure that you're leveling it up. Which, I mean, to be fair, I am a power leveler most of the time, but what if someone wanted to literally get like a whole team of like lower level Pokemon and restart everything? They would be completely destroyed when they have to travel through the wilds. So, yeah.
True. That's true.
I don't know. I will say, I also really liked the way that they did it in the Legends Arceus, because each area did have like a level-ish area that they were in. And like each and if you had to go to an area that was inaccessible at a certain point, then the Pokemon that are in that specific area are higher level when you eventually go there. So like there's like there's a few islands in the first zone, and all of those are like kind of like you actually have to do some stuff in order to get them. But I don't know. It's interesting to say the least. I'm really excited. I do like what they've done. I think that they are on the right track. But I think that there's definitely going to need to be some changes. And I think that that's going to start with ZA, and then whatever the next game is going to be after that is going to be really interesting. Yeah. Speaking of which, ZA is coming out next year. Do you think that we're getting anything this year, like
Yes.
a surprise DLC or something?
I would be
Fair.
pretty shocked.
I don't know. It feels like I understand why. I 100% understand why. But why they didn't do anything in why they're taking a break. We've said that they needed a break anyways, or they needed to take their time when it came to the next game. But it's weird to me that there is no there's nothing really going on this year for Pokemon.
Which is
Yeah.
fine with me as long as the next one's
So
great.
hopefully everything goes smoothly for ZA, and then whatever is going to be the next game, I'm excited for it. But I'm also kind of wondering with ZA if maybe it's going to be coming out earlier in the year. Right. Because
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. It feels like a long time between a mainline, like even DLC, which the DLC those count as mainline games to me. But I don't know. There's just I don't know. Maybe at this point in time, all they're saying is worldwide 2025, and it's currently saying The Switch, I think. Well, not even really. They're just saying Nintendo. They're not even showing the Switch symbol. So, part of me wonders if maybe it has something to do with like it's gonna be like their first game. It's gonna be like a game that releases with the Switch 2. Which, honestly, I'd be
Maybe.
thrilled with that. I think they. Let me see if we mute that. Well, it does have. I guess it does have the Switch logo when it first starts the trailer. But at the same time, that could absolutely be something that they're just like using as a placeholder. And then it does show at the end of the trailer that it is going to be on the Switch.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard to say because I think that like it's practically been confirmed that the Switch 2 the Switch 2 is coming out next year. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot that's on my mind with that, and it's just kind of hard to say. So I don't know. But anyways, we've been going for about an hour, so I think that that's probably a good spot to end this nerd chat, especially since we kind of lost track. We kind of stopped talking about the games that are coming about half an hour ago. Oh yeah. But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this nerd chat. I've been Electro Ninja, he's been Jack, and we will see you guys next time. But on.